On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on? A blessed and wonderful Wednesday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now my peeps, you don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so they can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we're going in Jamaica. So watch this now, my peeps. We're going to start it off this morning with a rather heartbreaking type of story, where this young girl presently on your screen, identified as 9-year-old Nikita Noel, but affectionately called JoJo in her community. She's from a little district in Hanover, loosely known as New District. Now, this little girl's body was found lifeless, and the police has taken into custody a 42-year-old man in relation to a hold on and take and the loss of life of the 9-year-old child. When time we say hold on and take, by this time I'm pretty sure one would understand the term. Now, the family of this little girl is indeed grieving as we speak. So I will most definitely take this time to offer my most sincere condolences to the bereaved families of Nikita Noel, otherwise known as JoJo. The man in question is reportedly a close acquaintance of the girl's family. Nikita was yesterday reported missing by her mother after she did not return home from school as expected. She was a student of the Esha Primary School in Lucy, Hanover. Her body was found by a search party which included law enforcement officers. So at this time, we're going to hear from the head of the Era 1 Police Division, that is Assistant Commissioner of Police Clifford Chambers, as he weighs in on this tragedy.
The investigation with regards to the death of the student of the school in Hanover is far advanced, I can advise. At this point, there is a male who is in custody. So far, he is in protective custody based on the investigative lead at this time. There are senior investigators who are at the scene now. Others are going to the scene. And later on today, we will be in a position to provide more information on it. But she is a student of Esha Primary, and she did not reach home at the usual time. An alarm was raised. The citizens and the police launched an investigation and a search. And coming out of that, a male has been taken into custody. There are 3 other persons who are with the police at this time, and based on what information has been provided, the investigators are of the view that the information is credible, and that those will be a part of the investigative process going forward. But there is a male who is in protective custody at this time, and in short order, I was told by the investigators they will be able to give a more comprehensive roundup on the matter, where charges are likely to be preferred, but the investigative process is really on way in earnest.
That was the voice of Assistant Police Commissioner, head of the Era 1 Police, Clifford Chambers. And in his remarks, he said that the man was placed not just in custody, but in protective custody. And he placed emphasis on the word protective. Why does it seem as if when these animals, these sorry excuse for a man commit these atrocious acts against Jamaicans, and in this case, one of our nation's most vulnerable, a young child, they are given certain type of treatment, just as the one that took the life of 5 in Cocoa Peace, Clarendon. That man was protected, like really protected, so that no harm could come of him. But yet he took 5 lives. As in with this man who took the life of this young child, he's placed in protective custody. I do understand why the police have to act in a certain way and in accordance with the law. But life is really unfair because a family right now is grieving, a mother is grieving, a father is grieving, an entire family, well, 2 families are grieving. The family of the mother, the family of the father is grieving the loss of a child, their family member. And this man is being protected by the security forces. As I said, I do understand, but life is really unfair. Boy, I tell you, my peeps, it's rough, really rough. So again, my most sincere condolences to the bereaved families. And still in the Hanover Police Division, another tragedy to report to you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. Now on your screen is a 23-year-old security guard who has since been identified as Shaunda Rhule. She's from a Fort Charlotte Drive address in Lucy, Hanover. Shaunda Rhule's body was found outside of her house with multiple chop wounds all over her body. The police are theorizing that it is stemming from a domestic dispute. The police are saying that Shaunda Rhule was probably attacked inside of her house before she ran outside and was reportedly chased by her attacker and chopped multiple times all over her body. So as a part of the police investigations, the child's father, Shaunda's child's father, was contacted by the police and he turned himself in on Wednesday, which is yesterday evening, and was interviewed by the police. The father of the child was interviewed by the police, stated the superintendent in charge of the Hanover Police Division, Sharon Beeput, who had said nothing other than that they have in custody the father of the child. Now, this is another domestic dispute gone totally wrong. So we are here awaiting the police official report to see if indeed the father of her child was the perpetrator of that wicked and brutal crime. Boy, I tell you, my peeps, I don't know what has become of us as a nation, and especially our young men. Why is it that our hearts, or should I have said their hearts, have become so evil? And the fact that you are so close to these persons, some even say that they love these persons, but yet it is so easy for you to be triggered into taking that person's life. Boy, my peeps, we definitely need a shift in the atmosphere because death, doom and gloom hovers over Jamaica. Now over there in the parish that is dubbed the most murderous parish since the start of the year, the Clarendon Police Division, the Clarendon community of Tollgate is in total shock over the knockings and clappings which resulted in the loss of life of another of our nation's most vulnerable. This time a senior citizen, a 71-year-old shopkeeper. The man in question has since been identified as Alphanso Wint, otherwise called Doctor, of a Decoy Road in Tollgate, Clarendon. He was last night discovered inside his shop with multiple gunshot wounds to the head. The discovery was made by residents who reportedly hearing explosions and went to investigate. The knockings and clappings happened sometime around 7:30 p.m. The murder of a senior citizen has been strongly condemned by the community. One community member stated, and I quote, "He does not make trouble, and a lot of people were on the road last night and his shop is right at the roadside." The councillor and caretaker for the Tollgate Division stated that the Clarendon Western South constituency condemns that knockings and clappings. Wint sold coconuts and canes along the roadway. It's a little man where bossy, one person stated. When him tell you say him no walk and beg, him having money under a mattress, him having money under a mattress. A close source stated that Wint was robbed of a large sum of money some 2 years ago when criminals invaded his home. The source also stated that Wint lost his home to the hands of arsonists over some 5 years ago. Councillor of the Yorktown Division, which is also in Clarendon Southwestern, stated that he knew Wint well and that he was saddened by his loss of life. The councillor stated, and I quote, "I am so hurt. This man is over 70 years old, a very kind gentleman, and we are saddened to know that someone could have gone there last night and took his life in such a fashion." The one-way stroke that the Prime Minister is coming with at all times, the SOE and the state of public emergency, is just not working, and he needs to come better than that, stated the councillor. But Jamaica's politics, to be honest, whichever party is in power, the opposing side is going to oppose certain things and not working alongside each other to make Jamaica better. I honestly think On the Spot News Media is speaking from his sound judgment of this, that they really don't care. What they care about is the power. So whomever is in power and tries to implement certain things, the opposing side will oppose it so that they may garner cheap popularity or support from the populace with their rebuttals and not looking on the long-standing effect of what they're doing because of power and greed. So Jamaicans, let us not be fooled by these politicians who make it seem as if, or they pretend as if they care. As the great late Michael Jackson had a song that says, "All I want to say is that they don't really care about us." And I solemnly believe that they don't. Sad to say, my peeps, but the truth is just the truth. Now, the last thing that I will be speaking on is this man presently on your screen. The man who was taken out in a hail of bullets by criminal elements traveling on a motorcycle in Half-a-Tree, St. Andrew, Tuesday evening. He was a respected architect who has done work for several prominent business people in the country, including the sprint legend Usain Bolt. He is identified as a 42-year-old Huan Darling of a Kingston 8 address. Huan Darling was a Woolmerian. He had done design work for several buildings in the corporate era, including the Fontana Pharmacy on Waterloo Road and Burt's Arthropods on Moulines Road. He was also working on a major development project on Hope Road in St. Andrew. Now, sources stated that he had taken the construction industry by storm, with clients impressed by his vision and quality of work. The sources also says that he rose to prominence in the industry, and that may have fostered jealousy, and that may have played a role in his demise. Now, head of the St. Andrews Central Police Division, Senior Superintendent Marlon Nesbeth, says the incident took place in the evening during the rush hour traffic. Now, we're going to hear from the superintendent as he gives his overview of the entire incident. Listen.
About 6:35 yesterday evening, the police in Alphanso were alerted to a gunshot being fired in the Cargill Avenue area vicinity of Tebow Avenue. On arrival on the scene, they saw the body of Mr. Huan Darling slumped over the steering of an X-Trail motor vehicle. From information, he was proceeding from Tebow Avenue area when two men on a bike, the pillion of which fired a shot in the vehicle. The vehicle subsequently went across Cargill Avenue and collided in a perimeter fencing. Then the pillion got off the motorcycle and fired several shots at the nose. You would appreciate the fact that many persons saw what happened. We're asking for the assistance of these persons to progress the investigations around this matter. We're asking them to support, talk to us. We need that help, definitely. We are pursuing several leads around it otherwise, and we are aided also by the technical means. So we'll give this all the attention it needs as we pursue to bring the perpetrators to justice.
That was the voice of Senior Superintendent of Police Marlon Nesbeth, head of the St. Andrews Central Police Division. And as I stated in yesterday morning's vlog when I brought this to your attention, that it's going to be hard for the regular members of John Public in that area to definitively say that it was John Tom or Tom Strokes that carried out that hit. What the police will have to depend on is video footages from one of those buildings in that areas, because a lot of schools and evening class type of institutions are in that area. So I would hope that one of those institutions would have had a camera to capture the entire event. We were not told if the men were masked or not, or wearing helmets or whatsoever, but we will definitely be following the police progress as they continue their investigation into this matter. And as I also stated, the person who fired those shots in the vehicle was definitely a trained professional. That grouping was definitely not that of an amateur. Yeah, man. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.